Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Holland FinTech Meetup for December, the last of the year already. And what a year it has been. It's despite all the craziness, it has really flown by. Maybe one note to the speakers before we get started. Could I kindly request you to switch off your cameras and then so we can keep focus on the presentations and on the person speaking, so we can have a smooth. Yes, you too, Don. Thanks. All right, so as people are coming in, we are just going to get started. So today is the December meetup for Holland FinTech. We have a number of pitches for you. We have some insights from Holland FinTech, and we have a nice thought leadership talk as well. So, but before we get into all of that, I think we have a short video introduction to set the scene. The video streaming was still a little bit chunky anyway, for me anyway, but it gives a good impression of what the Holland FinTech meetups look like before before the lockdown happened, when they were still physical. I believe the video is also from the February meetup we had in 2020 at ING, which I think was the last physical one as well. Anyway, today is December and it's all digital, so let's forget about the past and move on. My name is Michael Broymans. I'm going to be the meetup host and the moderator for today, and I'm here, of course, on behalf of Holland FinTech. So I think we have a slide coming up which will help you navigate the platform we're using today a little bit more. So if you can go to the next slide. Here you can see, I'm not sure if you can read the text. I can help you understand it a little bit. What we're explaining on this slide is, on the left side, you can have a number of options which you can navigate on the event itself. We are right now in a session. After the session, you can also network with people who are joining us today through the networking opportunity. On the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, you can all see that there's a chat box. You have a chat option for the session itself. You also have a chat option for the event itself. As we're all using the session right now, feel free to use the chat box for the session. There's also an option for polls, and you can also send direct messages to people. So as you can see, Hopin is really trying to recreate the physical meeting experience in as much as possible in a digital way. So so I would highly encourage you to look into the networking opportunity after we're done with the meetup. So let's go to the agenda of today. The registration period that has happened, these are the welcome words. I'm giving them to you right now. Then we'll have a market update given by our founder and CEO, Don Ginsel. Following the market update, we'll have a 15-minute presentation by OneSpan, who will share some of their expert insights. And then we're going over to the pitches of the day, starting with Axis Digitaal. Then we're moving into the pub quiz. I handcrafted the pub quiz for you as always. I hope I didn't make it, and I don't think I made it too difficult and made it fun enough. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. And then after the pub quiz, we're moving on to another pitch by HeliCloud and the final pitch by Crossland. And we'll all be asking you to give your rating for the pitches through Mentimeter, so we can announce a winner according to the audience for the best pitch of today. So I think that's it from my side for now. I don't think I missed anything. So I would say without further ado, Don, whenever you're ready, feel free to switch on your camera and share the latest insights with us from the FinTech ecosystem.
Thank you, Michael, and thanks to see everyone here again. At least I hope you're able to see me, because I'm pretty much in the blind, but I see that we've got a couple of attendees, so it's really nice to see you all here and hopefully be able to tell you a little bit more about the developments in FinTech over the past month. And if should that spark any questions with you, please feel free to reach out either to the chat during the session or afterwards, for example, in the networking, or just send me a message and I'm happy to look into it. Let me see if I can operate the slides. probably easier if I share them myself. So here we go. I hope that the slides are well visible. First of all, I would like to give a big thanks to my colleague Raluca, who was already the master of basically getting our news flow together on a weekly basis even. So just to give you a bit of an insight on how we deal with all the news, every week we try to capture, or actually on a day-to-day basis, we capture latest news, latest investment rounds, interesting research reports that have been published, or for example, opinion pieces and blogs that have been published during the week as well. On our website, you're able to find a digest on a weekly basis about what's going on in the world. So in each of these categories, so we have one piece about all the analysis and opinion pieces. We have one piece that basically writes about a weekly digest about research pieces, one piece about funding, and one piece about the news, which comes out today. And then every Friday, we'll send you a newsletter, which is a digest of these components that you can read out throughout the website during the week. If you would like to subscribe to these newsletters, please see the link below. And you could actually also see much of this monthly wrap-up that we're now starting. We already did it at the Meetup, but we actually now also create a write-up that you can find on our website, so you can actually see all the highlights that happened in November for you easily to digest, should you not be able to read up on the news on a weekly or daily basis. So what do we want to talk about over the past month? I think there's a lot of interesting developments with regard to partnerships. Let's say I think these are some themes that we've seen actually throughout the whole year. Big partnerships, big tech moving into finance, a lot of IPO work, and a lot of focus also on cybersecurity. So, oh yeah, and not to forget to mention the societal acceptance of crypto. So to take you through it very briefly, Ant was going to go big in an IPO, which was halted by the Chinese regulators, which was quite interesting because it was supposed to be the biggest IPO ever. So it's really quite a shame that it didn't go through from an Ant perspective. So we're all really curious now what will happen, because of course Ant is pretty much a financial and technology powerhouse. But apparently the Chinese government wouldn't let them go because they actually might have become too independent, potentially. MasterCard was bringing forward a new solution focused on banks to actually help them with their cyber risks. So I thought it was quite an interesting solution how MasterCard is trying to get closer towards the banks to support their cyber risks and cybersecurity efforts. Also very interesting was the Green FinTech Network launched in Switzerland, where the part of the FinTech ecosystem locally there is really trying to make an effort to have a positive impact on sustainability. I think we've seen quite a lot of various initiatives throughout the world, but this is, I think, one that really stood out in the way that they really got all together and put forward quite an ambition. WhatsApp Pay has been pending for quite a while already in India. So last month we saw that the final improvements came in and that they began the rollout of WhatsApp Pay. It's very interesting. I think already last year when everyone started to talk about Libra being launched by Facebook, actually WhatsApp, also part of the Facebook group, was at the same time being announced that they would launch in India. And I thought that might actually be more interesting because I think that's going to even have much more impact, at least on the short term. Another one interesting also from the Asian perspective is that Alibaba has been focusing a lot on their cloud offering, and they surpassed IBM's revenue, which was quite extraordinary because it's quite a large cloud perspective. I mean, it's not AWS yet, but you see that they're really on a very strong, very steep growth path. So we're expecting much more from Alibaba as well as other Asian big techs in the cloud market. So curious to see how that will move forward. Then from a Google perspective, also, of course, one of the big tech firms already active with Google Pay for quite a while, but they completely redesigned their app. And at the same time, they also launched a bank account service called Plex, which I think is also, again, an interesting move to see. Well, for example, the month before, we saw that they were actually also looking into insurance. Also there, we see that all these big tech firms are step by step trying to move into finance. And at the same time, you see that regulators and policymakers are really struggling to really get a grip on how to deal with these sort of still kind of strange animals from a financial services perspective, how to regulate them properly without hindering customer services, which of course is becoming increasingly important. And we just should acknowledge that these large tech firms all play an important role in our day-to-day consumption of technology. It's interesting to see that Experian also is basically looking into the connections to other tech firms, especially to build credit data. So we know that credit scoring can be really important for people to be able to be eligible for a credit or even to be able to use a credit card. And so very often people don't have enough data to give them a credit score. And Experian was experimenting with a new way of building data for that by looking at how people pay their Netflix and Spotify subscriptions, which I think is quite an interesting approach to that. And I would expect actually to see much more of that. And of course, especially open banking in the UK or PSD2 in the European market are allowing us to actually get much easier access to that kind of information. So one of the partnerships that was really sparked our attention was between Nutmeg and JP Morgan Asset Management. They launched Smart Alpha portfolios, I think quite an interesting proposition. And at the same time, we heard already as well, as you can read in our newsletter this week, that JP Morgan is actually really keen on doing much more acquisitions and partnerships throughout the year. So they basically through the news send out an open invitation for everyone to approach them because they feel that there's much more consolidation and investment work to be done. Quite an interesting idea, and I think that they will find many partners, many parties will be quite willing to work with them. BlackRock made a nice investment, Aperio, to enhance their digital investment advisory perspective. Quite an interesting proposition as well. Good to dive into that. IBM is actually looking to, it's quite an interesting one, they made a move on the talent perspective. So they have, for specific clients, they actually launched a program to make it easier for these people to get tech talent for hire. So getting this new kind of accelerator program that really focuses on talent, I think is quite an interesting experiment. And I think for them, it's a good move to basically be much stronger part of the ecosystem with their customers. Well, and as mentioned on the crypto side, Coinbase is launching the debit card in the US for crypto payments. Also after November, as you can also read in our newsletter of today, there's much more news about crypto going mainstream, not just in payments, but actually also in asset management. So quite an interesting month, I think, quite a lot of developments. And I took some highlights from some other news. So for example, if you look into the investments across November. Here you can see the graph of big to small, all the largest investments that we've tracked. We did an analysis on that based also on the data of Dealroom. And to make it a bit easier to look at the biggest ones of these are the biggest investment deals globally. So these 10, Hippo Insurance was by far the largest with 318 million round. Second one, mortgages, 181 million. And financial health platform, also insurance in the Beijing, Shuidi was also quite a big one that raised 138. So you see that indeed payments is again pretty big in the whole top 10 from the whole perspective, and especially the US is very dominant. If we then look at Europe, and you see that also payments again is quite a strong grip again. And we see a small overlap between the top 10 globally and the top 10 in Europe, but there's a large number of smaller deals here that make up the top 10 in Europe. Yeah, quite nice investment rounds, I think. If you would like to read more about these investment deals, please check out the monthly overview, or yeah, as said before, read the weekly newsletters. So this was an interesting one. I thought was also worth mentioning that, of course, at the beginning of the year, we were anticipating that investments would decline during 2020, as we've seen that it's pretty hard for people to build new relationships and build trust while they can't meet each other physically. But actually, we've seen that 2020 has become a record year with regard to investment. So that's quite interesting to see. Europe is still slightly behind, but also this was based on a Q3, I believe. So I think we're actually quite well on track to still beat the record of 2019 with regard to total venture capital investments. And also within venture capital, it's seen that also fintech has raised quite large sums, as especially the digitization that got accelerated by COVID has sparked also quite some investment rounds throughout the year. And we'll probably get back to that after on the next meetup in January, when we can review all the figures from 2020. Yeah, then one other last one I think I want to show you before I let you go and go into the pitches, which of course is much more interesting to just dive into all the theoretical stuff, hear about actual companies, about what they're building. This was, I thought, was an interesting one. It's research by S&P Global, looking into where the biggest losses actually come from with relation to fraud. So I think fraud has become, especially due to COVID, an increasing problem. I don't know about you, but I'm basically getting a couple of phishing or fraud attempts on a daily basis, either via email, SMS, WhatsApp, social media, and there's quite a lot going on there. So, and it's pretty hard for financial services companies that are expected to really lean in to prevent frauds, to really have a good understanding of everything that's going on there. So I'm really happy that we're doing research like this to actually dive in deeper to figure out what the challenges are, and especially also to create awareness about the necessity to prevent fraud, to basically prevent your customers from being harmed, but at the same time also to actually protect your own firm and business. Again, this research report is also available in the monthly recap, so you can find it on our website. And then I'd like to wrap it up with that. I've mentioned the newsletter already. One thing I didn't mention before is that also every Friday morning at 9:30, we look ahead at the news. I have a guest virtually these days. Normally it would be in the studio with me, but now it's actually virtually. So we do an online session where we basically do a one-on-one talk about someone's company, what they're doing, and how they see that the market is basically changing around them, and how that ties into the news of the week. So if you want to get a preview of what goes into our newsletter on a weekly basis, you should definitely join our discussion there, listen in and understand what the bigger trends are in fintech. I think it's quite enjoyable to do actually these conversations, and I really hope that you enjoy listening to them. And should you have an interesting story that we should be aware of and would like to participate in events like these, please reach out to us, because we're always keen to listen to nice stories and happy to share that with the rest of the world. I think I've said enough, Michael, so it's better that you take it back.
Thanks, Don. You said a lot indeed, but a lot of very valuable insights. And for the people that pay close attention, it might be good to remember some of those insights for the pub quiz later. Now, without any more explanation, we're going on to the next part of the meetup, which is going to be a thought leadership talk by Benoit Granger, who is Chief Technology Evangelist at OneSpan, and OneSpan, they help financial institutions advance in their digital transformation. Benoit, I can see that you're ready, so feel free to take it over from me.
Thank you, Don. It was very interesting. Can you confirm that you can see my slide?
Yes, we can see your slide.
That's great, thank you. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Very pleased to be in front of you today, even if it's virtually. In case you are not familiar with OneSpan, some of you may know us as Vasco or DigiPass. We are a global leader in multi-factor authentication solution. But in 2018, we went through our own digital transformation with some big change in our brand to reflect our new strategy to help our customer, mainly financial institution and bank, to enhance their end user digital experience. So in today's presentation, we will discuss about the current trend and business challenge that we observe in the banking market, the way a digital transformation platform can help financial institutions to address this business challenge. And finally, we will conclude briefly on where and how OneSpan can help delivering such a kind of platform. So let's start by the digital banking trends and business challenge that we observe in the market. So everything is getting digital. Nothing new. Customers have embraced the digital, especially the mobile. What we see with the pandemic, it has strengthened consumer demand for digital banking solution. 75% of a customer with a digital account connect at least once a week to their bank. Every fintech, bank, e-commerce company are digital today, and it's very important for the bank to serve the need of their user and to provide the product and service that they expect. User, especially younger, or digital native. So they expect the same user experience as the one they have in their day-to-day digital life. One of the points that we see is that neobanks have a clear advantage over incumbent to deliver these native digital solutions. Second point that we see, and it will be not a surprise for anyone when I'm telling you that the user have a preference for mobile. So 11% tend to be more satisfied customer when engaging with a bank using the mobile channel. 15% say that their bank product are easy to use, and 16% are more likely to recommend their bank. The trend that we see at the moment in the market, in bank and other financial institutions, is that they are increasingly looking to leverage the power of mobile device as part of the onboarding process. In a survey conducted by A Group in 2018, 90% of the financial institutions said that they are likely or very likely to implement mobile data capture identity verification technology within the next 2 years. The next point is about fraud. So reducing the fraud is the #1 industry driver reported by banker to grow their business. I mentioned by Dawn, I mean, this aspect has been amplified by the pandemic. Improving the customer experience was the second factor. So last year, 600 million human-initiated attacks, including 253 million on mobile, have been reported. So today, the rise of fraud continues to increase at significant rate. And what we see is our customer reporting facing very sophisticated attack. So cyber criminals are getting highly coordinated and organized. And what we observe as well is that the bank are still fighting fraud in silo with legacy product. And these legacy products are not very easy to make evolve. And also they are not capable of catching this new fraud in real time. Finally, the last part is about regulation. And as you can see on this slide, there are a lot of regulation across the globe. And the implementation of this regulation can be very disruptive for the bank. On top of that, with open banking, we have seen that regulation has increased the competition in the banking space. And it makes easier for the neobank to play and to get a banking license. So we see that the banking market is becoming very competitive and very challenging. So let's now discuss about how and what should be the way to select a digital transformation platform. So one of the biggest challenges that we have seen when discussing with our customer is that when organization wants to move to fully digital process, there is a need to balance customer experience and risk. But this shouldn't be a trade-off between security and customer experience, but rather how do we deliver both, offering an experience with the necessary security safeguard while ensuring a frictionless digital experience. Ultimately, it is about delivering and achieving the highest adoption rate possible. So the last thing you want is a solution that is highly secure but extremely cumbersome, or super easy to use but not secure enough. So you want to achieve the best of the both worlds and every step in the digital customer journey. So this is what a digital transformation platform can help you to achieve. So let's discuss about what this platform should help you to deliver. So the first thing that this platform have to offer to you is a 360-degree view of your customer. So this platform should help you to secure the different channels, so to be multi-channel, and really help you to secure all the different steps of the digital journey. So to do so, the platform need to deliver different capability to address all these different steps, and this platform needs to deliver different technology through a workflow engine to secure every step of this digital journey. So let's discuss about the technology that you should be offered through this platform. The first one is identity verification. So you need to get identity verification capabilities based on ID capture and liveness detection to acquire net new customers that are unknown to your institution. The second capability that you need to get from this platform is the e-signature capability to capture legally binding agreement as part of the account opening and onboarding process. Then to improve the user experience and to deliver an ultimate usability of your platform, you need to integrate and to deliver, and this will be the kernel of your application, a risk analytic driven by machine learning and intelligent artificial. And the goal of that is to collect information and to leverage user and device information from your customer to improve the future digital interaction. Then, of course, this platform should allow you to deliver a passwordless user experience based on biometric, physical, and behavioral biometric. It should offer you transactional authentication with what you see, what you send capability to comply with PSD2 regulation. And the last but not the least, it should offer you some solution to secure the mobile platform that we mentioned before with some application shielding capabilities as part of the solution. Let's now move to a bit deeper on the way this platform and the way this platform should be architecture. So all the capability that I described before should be offered as a set of open API, deliver from the cloud to operate at lower cost and to also reduce the time to market and to scale quickly when needed by the bank. The goal is really to deliver all this capability in steps so that the bank can consume this API based on where they stand in their digital transformation journey. So what we see is that all the modern platform offer orchestration to deliver advanced capabilities like intelligent adaptive authentication and frictionless user experience. The platform should be built on latest technology cloud. For instance, the core services of the platform should be delivered as a set of microservices within cluster managed by Kubernetes. What is very important, and for sure most of the platform will be GDPR compliant, they will be SOC 2 certified, but what will be also very critical in the selection will be the data residency. So the platform should have instance into the country where you're operating to make sure that there is a respect of data privacy, data residency, and the SLA should be at least at the level of 99.95%. What is also critical as part of the platform is the ability of the platform to plug in new capabilities. So this platform should allow you to follow the evolution of the technology. So as such, by definition and by construction, it should be possible to add new capabilities within the platform. So for instance, when we're talking about authentication solution, it should be possible to plug in new biometric capabilities. When it comes to identity verification capability, it should be possible to plug in some new IDV provider. So we do see some new IDV provider popping up in different countries. Based on where you're operating, you may need to plug in some new one. And this platform should allow you to do that. Same thing when it comes to qualified signature, integrating with different CA, TSP, based on the country that you're operating. When it comes to the risk and machine learning, it should be possible to plug some extra source, so external source to enrich the model and deliver even a better user experience and more advanced security models. But finally, what is, I think, very important is the fact that the bank or the financial institution should be free to decide through this platform with which partner they want to work, and they should be capable of changing their solution by extending their workflow that will be executed by the platform orchestration engine based on where they are moving in their evolution. So just to conclude, and the way OneSpan can help you with this platform. So we have been working for the last 3 years delivering this platform. This is based on our digital identity and anti-fraud solution that we deliver as open cloud-based platform that integrate with third-party and in-house system so that our client can continue to leverage their current technology investment while advancing their digital transformation with next generation technology. So the goal of OneSpan is ultimately to help our client to deliver secure digital customer journey so that they can achieve their customer acquisition and growth goals across geography, use case, and channel. So now I'm open for the Q&A if any. Thanks a lot for your attention. Let me switch back to that and stop sharing my screen.
Thank you very much, Benoit. It's very insightful, really extensive offering you got there, very advanced.
Thank you very much.
So if anyone has any questions, you can ask them now. I think there was one question coming in from Jad. He's asking you, Benoit, he's asking, blockchain is mandatory, he thinks, in all processes that you described.
The blockchain, so there are discussion today about the place of the blockchain. I do see a strong place of the blockchain in decentralized identity in all this initiative that we see at the moment popping up. When I'm referring to this platform as such, we're going to deliver service across the identity. The platform by itself doesn't necessarily manage the identity, but the way I see it indeed is that, and the future of identity in my eyes is indeed based on decentralized model with distributed ledger where the user will be owning his own digital identity. And ultimately, at the end, I would see that this digital identity would be able to replace physical identity, but we're not there yet, but that would be the ultimate ambition of digital identity.
That's indeed the goal where we're all working towards, but not quite there yet.
No. It's going to take time, but regulation is moving into that direction. So once we will get a standard, I think that we get a big move into that direction. But there are different initiatives, something to follow.
Okay, thanks for that. Also a question from Don. What is the best example of customer experience that you have seen?
So I think what we see clearly today is if we're taking the neobank that are native digital, they have conducted some very impressive study about user experience for the onboarding, for the authentication. So I would say that today the most impressive user experience that is being delivered is mainly through this neobank from these different countries, especially when it comes to digital onboarding. That's very impressive. It can be done in a snap. I mean, the onboarding process is very easy, and then the ability to access to new services is also facilitated by this neobank. So I would say that's what I see.
Makes sense. I think the end consumer is very happy with with a little more frictionless onboarding system process.
So an example about the type of our clients. So mainly OneSpan is dealing with financial institution, with bank. So we have 50% of a tier 1 bank. With this platform at the moment, what we see is more tier 3 and as well no bank that are engaging with us to leverage this platform. But something that is interesting maybe to share with you, we have seen in the last 6 months a very strong acceleration from the tier 1 bank to move to the cloud. We have seen some partnership announced by HSBC with Amazon, Dutch Bank, signing a partnership with Google. So we are engaging because these are our customer, and we're working with them to migrate to the cloud and to deliver our solution as a software as a service. But this is very impressive for me to see how these banks are moving at very high speed to the cloud.
Yeah, I can understand that, especially as Don mentioned in his market insights, the whole lockdown and the pandemic really kind of boosted the digitalization for many large financial institutions.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for the questions from the audience. If anyone still has questions, feel free to ask them in the chat, and then maybe you can reply to them in the chat as well, Benoit.
Sure, I will.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye. Thank you. So that was the thought leadership from OneSpan, and that means that we're now ready to go to the pitches of the day. We have 3 pitches lined up for you, but before we get started, we want to ask you to log into menti.com with the code which you can see on the screen. I'll also put it in the chat in a minute, because through Menti we will ask you to rate the pitches of today so we can announce a winner at the end of the session, and we'll also ask you a little bit of feedback for Holland FinTech so we can keep improving the meetups. So please all navigate to menti.com. The code is 6439579, and I am pasting it now in the session chat. So I'll give you just a second to log into that. So it's menti.com, and then you sign in with the code 6439579. And then you should be able to rate the pitches and give us feedback through the survey that we posted on Menti. So I assume that that's all working for you, which means that we can move on to the first pitch of today. The first pitch is by Albert Vizier, who is CEO of Access Digital. And Access Digital, they specialize in providing IT solutions to help and guide companies to have a robust competitive advantage. Albert, I can see you're ready with your camera on, so feel free.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for organizing this event, and also to Margarita and everybody. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see. Okay, I will share a screen with us. Let me check. Okay. I think everybody can see the screen, I think.
Yes, we can see the screen. It's not in presentation mode yet, though.
Oh, okay, wait, I will.
Yes, that's better.
Yeah, good.
Thanks, Albert.
Yes, okay, yeah, we are Access Digital. We are in Holland. From Holland, we cooperate all over the world. So we're going to start with a few discussions. What we'll discuss, the introduction, some of our cases, our service, some case studies, pilots that we do, and then you can have some questions. Okay, what we are, who we are. Okay, we are a global team. We're highly qualified professionals. And the thing is that we have all solutions in IT. So if there is any questions from a customer, we have always a solution, because we work with a global team with different hubs all over the world. Okay, here's the team that we have here in Holland and in France and in the different hubs. So headquarters in Holland. We have recent development in France, because there's a lot of IT over there, and like Silicon Valley, if you see. And then we have access hubs. We cooperate with with companies we have partnerships with, also with freelancers. So we give everybody an opportunity to work with us under the flag of access. The partnership is very important for us. The confidentiality and integrity to our customers, we take it very high, what we do. Why people choose for access? Because okay, we are very professionals with skilled, highly skilled people. Also, we give help students to educate them and to later become add to our team. Our cost-effective services is that we always look at the costing of products or costing of solutions, but also of consultants. Because we work in a global team, we can do a lot of on remote, and if we can do also on site. That's possible. And third, of course, we have a global team. Now, okay, some cases, work cases that we have done. We have a lot of different things, like from web development till ERP solutions, HRM solutions. In every category, every sector, we have made a solution, and because of course we have partnerships with companies, and that we use that to other companies, to other customers. So the costing is that very lower, and we use that customized for the customer. That it makes it better. With all of this, we summarized in 5 services that we have. Everything, we put all these services to Access ER, this intelligent resource. So there's a one-stop solution for all IT questions. So if there is a question of a customer, they come into our Access ER model, and there we can look into the question and request, and then we build our team around it to finalize, to customize, or to make this product for the customer, or to consult. Our web and design digital market we put under a different label, because the corporate designs and all these kind of things we can do it also, because we have everything in one-stop solution for the customer. Now also the gaming is getting very high, very more now in this also with this Corona. It started with, before Corona, 9% of people was working at home. After with Corona, 60%. And they see that it will stay at 40%. So people will stay at home. They will do work from out of home. They do their work, but also they will do a lot of gaming. And because we have our own team from different parts of the world, we have also IP rights of every game. So that is our mission, to be the largest developer of video games with a high quality. We deliver ready-made products. We name it e-products, like CRM systems, HRM modules, also personal excellence systems, that people can manage and control how people do their job and monitor it. And the 5th thing is that we do have a selection, different department that we name it Selection to Work, that we offer IT individuals to give them an opportunity to come together in one place, because we are working as a global team in this part. Here I want to discuss some pilot studies, and especially in the category health, environment, and communications. It's about, the first one is Alzheimer. We name it AL. Second one is eBin, is smart inhalers. Why we do this, why we made this, is because we have a lot of products already made that we can summarize and that we can add to one system and bring it to one system. For example, that we can make a new program, for example, now Alzheimer. And the same for the eBin and the push-push. Here's a little bit descriptions about it. So what we have, like to begin with, this is the Alzheimer program. We have an artificial bot, an artificial intelligence system, we name it also Leia. Leia is the chatbot that will focus and it will check how the people with Alzheimer, they monitor it and they will see the chatbot is looking, it's controlling through a system that the patient can be monitored, and they can monitor how the patient will be the same today or tomorrow. And if the system sees that the patient is getting back, it will inform automatically the doctor and the family that there is a problem with the patient or they're getting back. With the Inex system ideas, that is it is monitoring the disrupting classic dialogue systems. So that is used in video games, but it monitors how the people see and monitoring what is happening. With our Access RTC system, it's a communication system with the new technology, the new source code. I will explain it later. We built the mobile and the web application with the content management system. So if you can see the Diagnosis Early Act, that the neuroconnective disorders is really always too late. What you see is France estimated diagnosis rate about 60%, so it's getting more higher. So we want to develop with all these kind of systems, make it to other systems, so the cost is really lower to make it and to integrate it all together to one program. The same we have done with eBin. For example, in Holland, we have tax that we have to pay if we throw away our waste processor. It's getting up more. So with this system, what we can do is we monitor the container, how full it is, and it gives automatically to the company if he can work with the planning, that he can pass by and take over. He can how we say that, come and collect the trash if it is necessary. So with this, we have a strict planning, and with this planning, they can monitor the places where to go. It gives less driving, the planning in hours, and more efficiency, put the time to get the waste. The third one is the push-push. That is a system that has a smart inhaler. So there's a global growing market that people has like asthma. That the inhaler is always, it monitors how full it is, where you left it. Also, it gives to the pharmacy if you have a recept to get more of it, or it is less, that you have to take more from the pharmacy. It monitors and gives you all this information. Okay, the Access RTC is like a 4-chat system. A little bit quick. It's what is interesting is the privacy and security standard is very high, and the data consumption is 0.07 seconds per second. So that gives more faster, effective, and to use in the system. Is like if we want to use it now, people can easily communicate through this system and can be integrated in this application what we built. This is the eMate Smart. It's a little bit of, it has a sensor. It's a cost reduction, environment consumption, efficient waste process, and quick, accurate results. And this is the push-push with more information about track inhaler. It knows where it's empty, where it is, and it connects to the weather and the quality. So it will say to the patient if he needs it or he has to take it with him, and don't forget it. So we have now a section break after this. It's a lot of information. I can send the presentation, and if we can go now to the questions.
Yes, thanks very much, Albert. Indeed, we can send a presentation of this meetup to everyone that leaves their email address at the end of the Menti survey. Thanks very much for the presentation. It was really nice to see what you're doing and how you operate, basically. There's one question from the chat already.
Yeah.
It's from Roberto T.
Okay.
He's asking, does Leia anonymize the patient's data?
Yes.
Yes.
Anonymize the patient's data. Yeah, it anonymized only for the group or who is added to.
Okay. So it does anonymize the data. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes.
I also have a question
Definitely.
myself. So you really showed kind of you have different building blocks which you combine to make and can apply to make different products.
Yeah, because what we have different products already made for different projects, and what we do, we say, hey, we want to look into what we have already, and add it to one program, to a new program, because we don't have to develop new, because that costs time, that costs money, and we just have to customize it to the system that we want to produce.
Yeah, I get it. Just in between, I would like to ask all the attendees to submit the rating for your presentation. Following on my previous question, I have another question. So you really gave insights into kind of the building blocks that you have and the stuff you have already developed. And now, since we are Holland FinTech, I'm interested in the FinTech application. So could you maybe give us an example of a use case you developed for FinTech?
Yeah, we are at the moment, in this case, we are busy with the video games, and we are looking into also the blockchain. So with this system, what we want to do, there's another pilot study. What we will do is that at the moment, what you do, you buy games with different parties, and if we connect all these, if we produce our own games and we make it, we want to make an own blockchain. It was a different study, and to add this system to like a payment system between the games, and that people can add their points and everything, and they can buy and share these things through the blockchain. So we are not at the moment yet, but this in the pilot.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah,
thanks a lot. Yeah, that's nice to hear, and I'm very curious to follow that development and see that how it goes over the coming time, and how we can, of course, as Holland FinTech.
Yeah, at the moment we're gonna produce 5 games, and next year we have some big IP rights from big movies, but you will follow, and then if that goes, then we will follow up with the blockchain.
Exciting. Yeah, very exciting. Times coming up for you. Thanks a lot, Albert.
Yeah. Thank you.
Also, if you could stop sharing your screen, that would be great. Then we can take it back ourselves.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Thanks, Albert.
Yeah. I have to.
Yeah. Yes. There we go. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Okay. So I assume that everyone has filled in the rating for Albert's presentation. And also the next question in Menti, which is how did you hear about this event, which would be nice for us to know. And that means that if you have done that I think it's time for the pub quiz. Yes, it is indeed. So let me get that on the screen. I'm not sure if Albert, if your microphone is still on, just so. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. So I am going to share the Kahoot screen. Application window. Here we go. So there is my screen. This is the screen for the pub quiz. So if it's of course very fun for you to join, I would be very happy for you to join. How you join is by going to kahoot.it, and then you fill in the game pin 8900743. So let me see if that works. I don't see anyone registered just yet. Okay, there we go. They're coming in. Number one is there. No Harm has also signed up. Just to help you understand what the pub quiz is about, is we are going to ask questions about fintech updates in the last month. We'll have a little scoreboard in between. It's going to be a little bit competitive, and we're going to announce an award and send a prize to the winner of the pub quiz. So there's also a little incentive to really do your best here. I can see the registrations are coming in a bit quicker now, so that's good to see. Harm is here, someone who I don't know apparently. S has also joined. LJ, I see Judd is asking in the chat what he should be doing. So I will put it in the chat as well. Pub quiz. Harm really likes Harm, that's nice to know. www.kahoot.it, and the game pin is 8900743. So how many players do we have? We have 14 players and still counting. The man is here, Socrates is here. Socrates is always is one of our most dedicated pub quiz participants. So nice to see that you're back. Oi Hein Dobaran, I see that you're leaving now. Sorry you couldn't make it for the pub quiz today, but no worries, we'll be back in January and you can join us then. So we have 15 participants right now. I see there are quite some more people in the meetup itself, so I'm going to give you a little more time to sign up. There we go, 16. Judd made it as well. Nice to see that, Judd. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly as well. And if nobody is signing up anymore, we're going to get the session started. I see one person just dropped out. You can't close the window if you're using a mobile phone. If you close the window, you will be logged out. So before we get started, it's good if I just briefly explain the game rules, and it's going to go as follows. The question is going to come up on the screen that I have shared through Hopin. I will also read out the question to you, and the answer options will also come up on the screen, which I also will read out, and then it's up to you to fill in the answer on the device you're using, which you logged into Kahoot with. So I hope that's clear. And of course, the faster you answer, and if you get it correct, the more points you will get. So you get points for each question. I think we have 11 or 12 questions. I see we're at a stable amount of 16 attendees. So let's get started with question number one, and I hope you all are ready. Question number one, ladies and gentlemen. When is the Holland FinTech Annual Members Summit? Is that red, December 31st? Is that blue, January 28th? Is that yellow, January 8th? Or is it green, February 29th? So which date is the Holland FinTech Annual Members Summit? This is a more practice question to see also who's been paying attention to our communication recently. And the answer is indeed January 28th. Nice to see that. I see 3 people chose February 29th. I would advise them to check your calendars and see if that's even possible. Now, let's see what the scoreboard looks like. You don't know me is in first place. Question number 2. This year, how much did firms pay for breaking money laundering, privacy, and financial regulations? So how many fines did they pay? Was it red, $12 million? Is it blue, $431 million? Is it mango, $890 million? Or is it green, $10.4 billion? How much did firms pay this year for breaking money laundering, privacy, and financial regulations? And the answer is indeed $10.4 billion. It's a whopping amount. It's a big increase as well with regards to the fines paid last year, maybe due to the whole digitization process. We don't really know, but this is the answer. Let's see who got that right. Tuhak. That is the mirrored word of Kahoot. I saw that. I got you there. But you're on top, so congratulations. Let's see if you can keep it up. Question number 3. What is one of the expected benefits of sharding introduced by Ethereum 2.0? Is it red, thousands more transactions per second? Is it blue, free crypto for newbies? Is it mango, government regulation? Or is it green, anti-money laundering functionality? So what is one of the benefits of sharding expected? The answers are coming in. You have 3 seconds left. Let's see who got that right. Indeed, thousands more transactions per second, because sharding can enable parallel, I would say, parallel chains in which can process transactions at the same time and then come back together in the same chain. I think I'm saying that right, which enables, of course, much more operations and processes at the same time. A lot of you had that right, but who had it right the quickest? 2Hack is still on top. No Harm is climbing the charts. You Don't Know Me is still in there. Let's see what happens with question number 4. China's top banking regulator is hinting at increased measures towards large fintechs. What is this regulator called? Is it red, the China Big Tech Regulatory Commission? Is it blue, the Securities and Exchange Commission? Is it mango, the China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commission? Or is it green, the European Banking Authority? So what is this China banking regulator called? Indeed, most of you had that right. One person thought it was the European Banking Authority. China is not in Europe, so that can't be the right answer. But congrats to those of you who did have it right. And IFM is taking first place. Nice to see that. Question 5. Revolut claims to have broke even in November. Which other challenger bank is already making a profit? Is it red, N26, blue, Starling, mango, Monzo, or green, ABN AMRO? Which other challenger bank is the first challenger bank to be making a profit, and the only challenger bank so far? Let's see, who knows? 3 seconds remaining. And the answer is Starling indeed. So Starling, they broke even, I think, a few months ago, and now they are reportedly making a profit. So good news for Revolut, because if they can follow the same track, they will also be making a profit soon. Now let's see who knew that. The IFM is on the streak. 5 questions right in a row. Congratulations. You Don't Know Me is on a close second place, and 2Hack is still in the top 3. Question number 6. Singapore Central Bank is opening up their fund transfer services to who? Red, to licensed major payment institutions. Blue, to regular Singaporean citizens. Mango, to fintech startups. Or green, to international central banks. So to who is the Singapore Central Bank opening up their fund transfer services? And of course, everyone joining from the Singapore FinTech Festival should get this right. Indeed, the answer is licensed major payment institutions. But usually it was only open for companies with banking licenses, but now also major payment institutions who have been licensed as such, because they have, of course, gone through thorough screening, which is not the case for general fintech startups, which also many of you thought was the answer. The IFM is still on top, a streak of 6 correct answers. Congratulations, but you Don't Know Me is following in a close second place. 5 more questions. Question 7. Visa and BlockFi partnered to back the first ever credit card that offers what? Is it red, payment insurance? Is it blue, mobile payments? Is it mango, cash withdrawal? Or is it green, Bitcoin rewards? So how are they backing this credit card, with which revolutionary service? And indeed, the answer is Bitcoin rewards. Most of you had that right. It is already a feature which has been featured in debit cards, but Visa and BlockFi are the first ones to do it also for credit cards. And I believe if you make payments with this credit card, you get a small cashback amount, and you get it rewarded in Bitcoins. That's the general process. Who had that right? IFM still up there, streak of 7. Maybe I should make the questions more difficult next time. 2Hack is also still in second place, and No Harm in third place. Harm is also in the top 5 on 4th place, and You Don't Know Me 5th place. Come on, Harm. Let's get you to beat IFM. Question 8. Capital One has become one of the first major banks to stop customers from completing what? From completing buy now, pay later transactions, from completing payment transactions, from setting up savings accounts, or from creating a bank account. So the first major bank to stop customers doing what? 5 seconds remaining. Let's see what the answers are. Indeed, they are the first major bank to stop customers from doing buy now, pay later transactions. I always put a few trick answers in there, which one of the trick answers, well, actually there were multiple trick answers in this question, creating bank account. I don't think it would be very smart if a major bank stops their customers from creating bank accounts. So that wasn't the correct answer. IFM is still on top. Harm is growing. Congratulations, Harm, number 2. And No Harm is also still in the top 3 as with the 3rd place. Question number 9. Mobile banking app Current raised $131 million in Series C funding. How large is their member base? Is it red around 100,000? Is it blue around 500,000? Is it mango around 2 million? Or is it green around 1 million? So how many members does mobile banking app currently have? 5 seconds left. Let's see what your answers are. Yes, most of you had it right. Congratulations. The answer was around 2 million. And let's see how that affected the scoreboard. IFM is still on top. You have the streak of 9. I don't think we've ever had a streak of 9 before. So that's also a milestone, maybe something for the next pub quiz. Congratulations. Harm, you're still close though. It's still very possible. We have 2 questions left. Let's see what the next question is. Question 10. BlackRock is to acquire Aperio for $1.05 billion. What does Aperio specialize in? Is it red, payments? Is it blue, accounting? Is it mango, insurance? Or is it green, customizing tax-optimized index equity separately managed accounts? So what does Aperio specialize in? Let's see who got that right. And indeed, the answer is customizing tax-optimized index equity separately managed accounts. So most of you had that right. Congratulations on that. Good to see, good to see. The scoreboard, very, very close. I see Harm, you answered very quickly and you got it right. So that leaves, and You Don't Know Me is also still quite close and can still take the first spot. And luckily for Harm, No Harm is not in winning reach anymore. So let's see what the last question is and who can get the top number 1 spot. Question 11. Google Pay announced the launch of its own integrated banking challenger. What is this called? Is it red, Google Bank? Is it blue, Plex? Is it mango, Swipe? Or is it green, Streak? So what does Google call this integrated banking challenger that they announced they will launch, I believe, in next year? 5 seconds left. I hope Harm and IFM already submitted their answers. And indeed, the answer is Plex. Big news. Don also touched upon it in the FinTech market update, but I'm not going to blabber on too much. I know you're all interested in seeing who took the first spot. So I hope you're ready. And I will click the next button. On the 3rd spot with 6,962 is IFM. Wow, shocking results. 2nd place is You Don't Know Me. And then the 1st place is indeed for Harm. So I assume that's Harm Arts. Harm, congratulations with the 1st place. Please leave your contact details with us and we'll make sure to get a little prize your way. So congratulations. It's a not Harm. Okay, not Harm Arts. Okay, then the person who is Harm and has taken the 1st spot, please let me know and we'll be happy to send a gift your way. Now I'm going to close my screen and ask my colleague Margarita to share the screen again so we can continue with the rest of the pitches. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Hi, Robin. Yes, I can see you already.
Yeah, hi, Michael. Yeah, sorry. Welcome
Perfect.
in my home office.
Great.
I can
Thanks.
probably also share my screen. Let me look.
Yes, please. You can do that while I introduce you. This is Robin Scholten. He is a general manager for Benelux for HeliCloud. And HeliCloud, they take organizations on a complete journey into the cloud environment. How that exactly looks like, I think Robin will tell us a bit more about.
Yeah, just checking, Michael. Are you seeing the presentation now?
Yes, we do. I just want to ask my colleague Margarita to stop sharing the screen.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
Well, thank you, Michael, and thank you, Holland FinTech, for giving me this opportunity. Well, thanks. Congratulations again, Harm, whoever you are. I think you did quite a good job on the pub quiz. I'm a quite competitive guy on quizzes, but I definitely need to invest more time in fintech because, well, I did a little bit moderate, but better next time. Hello, everybody. My name is Robin Scholte. I'm the General Manager of Benelux of HelleCloud. And before I tell you something about HelleCloud, I'm hoping that everybody's doing fine and is keeping safe in these challenging times. I think it has been announced a couple of times already in this meetup that we live in challenging times with the pandemic, but also in a time where, well, the digital transformation, to use a cliche term, is ramping up quite fast. We see it also with our customers. We see it at the behavior of consumers. Well, and especially in, I think in the home office time, well, we've all seen that the amount of online shopping has increased to levels that we've never seen before, and especially in this holiday month of December. It will probably even become even higher than that. So, and that, I guess, that also gives some implications for fintech and especially for our friends of payment solution providers. So let me start by asking you a couple of questions before I tell you something about HelleCloud. Question number one is, what if, as a payment provider, you cannot provide services anymore because of a system downtime and you are not able to do any financial transactions anymore? Well, what if you cannot scale your operations? Well, you need to, because the amount of online transactions increases really rapidly, as well, for example, on a Black Friday or on the last day before Christmas. But you come to the conclusion that you don't have enough space in your data center. So what if, and maybe that's even the worst, I also saw some of the other stories dealing with this. What if you are suffering from security breaches and you are really being confronted with bad press and impact on your image, and you cannot get away with it with, I don't know, giving people vouchers or things like that, but if you really have an issue? Well, all of those what if questions, that gives probably the answer is of what HelleCloud is doing. We are making sure these problems are history. Who are we? We are an international pan-European business. We are, well, I think you can call us a kind of a scale-up. We are now here for 4 years, and we are operating from 3 offices in UK, London, here in the Netherlands, from our The Hague office, and from our office in Bulgaria. And we are a cloud company, and we serve the EMEA markets from, well, the locations as I just mentioned. And we are currently also in the phase that we are starting to onboarding more countries. And we are looking currently at countries like Germany and also to Spain and Belgium. What is our course? Our course is that it is time to build better business. And everything we do, we are focusing on helping our customers to build better business and business that delivers. And by doing that, we have chosen a strategy that we build with the best, and that's AWS, but I will come back to that later, and that we build by the best. So we have a very high standard on the people, especially the technical people that we hire into our company. And we are now with about 120 people, of which probably about 110 technical people and 10 people more from sales, marketing, and more supporting functions. And especially those 110 people, there is where especially the value of our company is. Well, of course, also in the salespeople, and of course, a little bit also in the management, well, like myself. But the real value of our company is in the technical people. And we have a lot of people that are highly technical qualified on the AWS cloud. So I already announced that we are an AWS company, and we are the #1 AWS pure play partner in EMEA region. So that means that we only serve customers that use the AWS technology or that have a multi-cloud strategy and also a strategy on AWS. But we don't do the other clouds. And that's maybe something that I need to explain. Why we do that? Because we see competitors, or, well, I wouldn't call them competitors, other companies in the market space that do multi-cloud because they do believe in a multi-cloud world. And actually, I also believe in a multi-cloud world. But I also believe that you should, if you focus on one technology partner, then I think you are positioned to become the real #1 in that technology. So that's why we chose to do only the AWS and leave the rest of the activities for other clouds to other companies. We are a highly certificated company. We have the highest status with AWS. It's called the Premier Consulting Partner status, and we have all kind of competencies, amongst others, also the financial services, and also one that's very important for us is the security competence, because that's something that we have value very much. Well, what do we do in our company? Well, we do, to be a little bit short, because it's a 5-minute pitch, we do 4 things. We do enablement, so we help customers migrate to the cloud. We help customers migrate application and data to the cloud. We do cloud native application development, and we support customers in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and IoT. We help customers modernize their applications and their IT infrastructure, especially in these digital challenging times with, well, I wouldn't call them all, for example, CI/CD implementation and maintenance. We do microservice and serverless modernization. Thirdly, that's one of our most important pillars is our security and compliance proposition, especially for our, well, governmental and finance customers. We have a 24/7 detection response. We have a 24/7 SIEM solution that we operate from our Bulgaria office. We do security posture assessments where we check the state of the security of our customers. And lastly, but not least, we do operational governance. So we support our customers with 24/7 operational managed services, both on infrastructure, but also on data and application management. Well, to give you an example of some of our finance customers, here you see a couple of one, and what I would like to do is to, well, deep dive on one of them, which is a customer that we are very proud of, and what we also call as one of our fintech customers, and that's the online payment platform. We serve customers, well, both from the UK and Benelux, and also from Bulgaria. Most of the finance customers are currently in the UK and also in starting up now in Benelux. And online payment platform is one of our first, well, finance customers here in the country. Well, the OPP company, well, probably most of the people in this session have heard of that company. It is a online payment solution provider for platform and marketplaces. And they deliver seamless payment experience for customers all over Europe. And what they offer to their customers is, well, a solution where, well, I don't know, platforms like marketplaces, retail, or any other industry don't have to take care of their own payments, but leave that up to the specialist in the market, in this case, online payment platform. Well, what was the customer case with us? The challenge that they had an on-premise hosting solution with a highly critical databases. And they had quite some issues with their previous service provider, well, leading to some issues. They had a scaling challenge. Well, they were suffering from unexplainable downtime. Now, I don't have to explain you people what the impact of downtime is if you're an online payment solution provider. But most importantly, they were confronted with a lack of speed that could help them to, well, to meet up with their business development. So they were not able to, well, move up to the growing pace they were in because they were limited by the technology. And they came to the conclusion that the infrastructure solution, so, well, call it keeping the lights on part of their business model, was holding back the growth of their business. So what did we do together? Well, we moved them as HeleCloud from an on-premise to the AWS public cloud, well, mostly to minimize downtime. Well, they had absolutely no experience with the AWS public cloud. So that's why we helped them move to that, well, not only from our opinion, but also formal confirmed by companies like Gartner. AWS is not only the biggest public cloud provider, but is also still the #1 in the Magic Quadrant of Gartner. So it is the leading public cloud company in the world. And our HeleCloud, highly certificated AWS consultants, designed the infrastructure and landing zone for OPP. And we created a demo environment for specialized features. We migrated the platform quite smoothly without any downtime. And what we probably are most proud of, it was not only a one-off, so we didn't just do the design and the migration of the platform itself. No, up till today, we are managing that platform with our managed services 24/7. And we are very proud to be still a part of the online payment platform. Well, that's about it. And that's about the pitch that I wanted to give to you today. So up for questions.
Thank you very much, Robin. Very clear presentation as well. Great to see
Thank you.
To all the attendees, I would like to ask you to go to menti.com to fill in your rating for Robin's presentation. And in the meantime, I will look at the questions. Roberto T had one question for you, Robin, and I think Walter Heck, your CTO, addressed it briefly, but maybe you'd like to add something to it. So Roberto's question is your security services based on AWS cybersecurity services, or do you have a layer of your own above it? And this is for passive security.
Yeah, well, I think Walter already says it here. And well, we are in the middle of reInvent, so that's the yearly AWS event, which is normally physical in Las Vegas, and this year, well, a 3 weeks virtual event. And we were discussing questions like this this morning in a review session that we had. AWS will give you, and probably will keep doing that in the future, giving you, well, like Walter said, tons of options. But the big challenge is to select the right ones and to combine those to the solution that our customers are looking for. And on top of that, and I think that was your question, Michael, do you also include your own intellectual property there? Yes, we do that because we do face that some of our customers have, well, I don't know, specified issues or requirements that are not easily to fill in completely with the, well, let's call it the standard AWS building blocks. Either it's from a technological building block or also from a managed services building block. So that's where we add, well, the value and our own intellectual property right. And most of the time we do that in a way that we can reuse that for more customers. So if we have a finance or fintech customer that has a specific need on for example, I don't know, compliance or security, then we try to embed it in our standard portfolio, but we do add our own intellectual property above what AWS is offering to their customers. Okay, yeah, that's clear to me. Thanks for that. Just before I go to the next question, I would still like to remind you to rate the pitch on menti.com. Next question, also by Roberto T. So he's asking a little bit deeper on the security part. So how would HeliCloud security compare with, for instance, dark trades? Well, that's a good question for the general manager. I guess not, but maybe Walter, I think he's online. I think he can give his opinion on this better than I can. Okay. And otherwise, I will come back to this question. Okay. Yeah, well, Walter can always address the question in the chat. Maybe one last question from my side, Robin, from a more business strategy perspective. A lot of companies are offering digital services to assist, especially financial companies, in the digitization transformation process. Is it difficult for you to navigate the competitive landscape, or what are your views on that? You mean difficult for us from our competitive perspective? Yes, indeed. Well, well, it depends a little bit on from which angle you see it. I wouldn't say it's not difficult for us to do because, well, the digital transformation that's currently on, and also the impact of the COVID pandemic to our customers is so enormous that if you look at the amount of customers requests that we are getting, well, I would say maybe it's a little bit popular way of putting it. There is enough room for enough competitors, let's call it that way. But we are acting in an area where I guess the biggest challenge that I have is not my competitors, because, well, what I said, we are highly focused, and obviously there are more very good companies in this country that are highly focused. But I guess we all have a different angle of focus where we are focusing on. So probably we are focusing on different type of customers, maybe from not only from a vertical perspective, but also from the the size of a customer. So most of the time we don't really mix up with each other. But the biggest challenge I have is to keep finding highly qualified people. So if we ramp up our business, and we are currently working quite hard on that in Benelux, we invested a lot of money in our commercial and marketing, or we are investing a lot of money there. But the big challenge for me is finding the right people that I can send to customers and that have the right technology knowledge to assist them on their cloud journey. So I don't see myself having a competitive challenge, but I think I have more a war on talent challenge.
Yeah, and that's to me, I interpret it as a very positive sign, as the challenge is in growing your business and not in competing with other companies.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's it for the Q&A. So thanks a lot for the presentation, Robin.
Thank you.
Really insightful. Thanks for the Q&A as well. And we're going to move on to the last pitch of the day. So the last pitch of the day is going to be by Ilan Freising, who is an analyst at Crossland. And Crossland, they developed a European digital debt marketplace, which I assume Ilan is going to tell us more about. I can see your video is already on, so whenever you're ready, feel free to share your screen and give us an amazing presentation.
Yeah. All right. So can you all see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So, hello, everyone. My name is Ilan Freising. I'm representing Crossland here today. I've been with the company for almost 2 years now. I'm covering the Benelux and the French market, and it's been a hell of a ride. So in a nutshell, what are we doing at Crossland? So we are delivering a capital market structure for originators and investors, and provide technology for data management and analytics for these originators. So we have a deep understanding of the market. Sorry, we have a deep understanding of the capital markets and come from the transactional side. We have a team of about 70 people working across 5 offices. So I'm currently in the London office. So Crossland is a digital debt marketplace. So on one side, we have originators. So this could be banks, non-bank lenders, or marketplace lenders that we connect with institutional capital, which could be other banks, insurance companies, pension funds, or even credit funds. We recently facilitated a transaction in the Netherlands with a, sorry for the pronunciation, but with one of the largest crowdfunding platform called Geld voor Klaar. We decided to go for GVE internally because it was impossible to pronounce it for most of the people. So as you can see here, we deal with a lot of different asset classes. It goes from SME loans, consumer loans, mortgages, invoices, everything which has a certain type of granularity where we can add value with our analytics. So coming back to GVE, we help them to get the government accreditation to issue government-backed loans under the BMKBC program. So it's a program that has been extended from original BMKB to help the backbone of the economy, which are the small and medium enterprises, to inject capital in the real economy. We announced a similar transaction today in the UK with a platform called Market Finance in the invoices, also government guarantee. So this is how a typical transaction would look like. So by means of technology, we acquire, so our Luxembourg securitization vehicle acquires loans receivables of these originators, and then we wrap them into a note, which could be a bearer note, a register note, or even a fund, and we place this with the investors. In Germany, we are regulated by the BaFin. In Luxembourg, our securitization vehicle is supervised by the CSSF. We have a commercial partnership with ABN AMRO and Santander, who are also part of our shareholders, alongside the European Investment Fund, Early Birds, and some other prominent VCs such as Nordzone and Lakestar. In an ideal world, we would have a European Capital Market Union where we'd have transnational transactions, but the reality is far from that. So our mission is really to co-create this European Capital Market Union. The market opportunity of unmatched loan and investment is estimated to be above 2 trillion euros. So as you all know, we live in a low interest rate environment at the moment. Interest rates are at historical low levels. To avoid to pay negative interest rates, banks are even forced to store physical cash. As a result, there has been a run on private debt as an asset class over the last few years, which is uncorrelated to other asset classes that you may be more familiar with, such as the stock market, the bond market, or commodities. So here at Crossland, we have the digital debt marketplace where we connect investors with originators, which I've been discussing during this presentation. But during the current pandemic and the crisis we've seen, and in the crisis we are in, we saw a real need for originators to understand their data. And so we created the data suite where originators will be able to benchmark themselves with other originators, whether it's in their jurisdiction or in jurisdiction or other jurisdictions. And then we also about to launch the Debt OS, which is more directed to banks, which will help them for balance sheet management or and balance sheet relief. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, I'm happy to.
Thanks a lot, Ilan. It was also a very clear presentation, so thanks for that. Of course, I want to ask everyone to submit the rating for Ilan's presentation, so we can announce the winner right after this. And in the meantime, we're going into the Q&A. There's one question that just came in. Mike Watson is asking, he would like to see your pitch deck. Well, we can arrange that after the session. Harm Aarts has a question. What is the biggest issue that you're having right now?
So one of the big issues, but like that's why we are here, is really the data we get from originators. It's very each originator has its own type of data. So, and there's a lot of also human mistakes. So it's really the cleaning of the data and try to standardize the data format to upload it to our marketplace.
All right, that's also very insightful. Thanks for that. In the meantime, Ilan, I think you're still sharing your screen. So if you could just stop sharing, and my colleague Margarita can take over again. And indeed remind everybody to rate the pitch. So Ilan, you just presented here at the Holland FinTech Meetup. Is there anything that you are looking for, or Crossland is looking for, that we can maybe create a little announcement for right now, or anything that we can help you with?
So
for instance,
sorry.
Right now, if you could ask the audience anything to help you with, for instance, are you looking for new partners or suppliers of data, or is there anything we can help you with right now?
So the business we are in is a B2B fintech, B2B business. So our clients are more institutional type of clients. If you know an originator, so it could be a platform like Geldforklaar. Happy to have an introduction in the Netherlands or wherever.
Thanks for that. It's good to know. Yeah, we can also help you with that as Holland FinTech. So I would suggest we get in touch to discuss this afterwards as well. And then one last question. Ekta Aurora is asking if you can share your email address. So get in touch. And I think that's it for
I
now.
will share.
We received the ratings. If anyone has any questions, you can still ask them in the chat, and Ilan can reply to you in the chat. So Ilan, thanks a lot for the presentation and answering the questions. And we're going to move on to the next slide. So let's see what the next slide is. It should be the announcing of the best pitch. Indeed. So you all, we all know very well that you voted for all the pitches, and as a result, we have an average of the pitch who had the best rating. And I'm going to announce that to you now. I'm just double checking with my colleague. Yes, the best pitch of the Holland FinTech December Meetup 2020 is going to Ilan Freising from Crossland. Congratulations, Ilan. If there are any thank you words you'd like to say, or thank anyone, or feel free to take this opportunity.
I would like to thank Holland FinTech for having me here today, and my company for giving me Crossland to give me this opportunity. And thank you for the audience for the voting.
Thanks a lot, Ilan. And of course, thank you from our side to you for presenting today. I see just a question popped in the chat box, so feel free to reply to that in the chat. And then I think we're going to wrap up this session because we're already a few minutes past the closing time. So the next slide is indeed about the upcoming events. First of all, you can go to our website and go to the event section to see all the events we have. We have a lot of partner events on there as well. Besides that, we have some open events coming up. The Flash Friday, which is every Friday morning, where Don will interview someone for half an hour, someone from our network. And of course, we have the CTO Roundtable coming up. I think it's next Tuesday, with a topic of low code versus custom code software development and how to figure out what is best for your business. For other events, please go to our website. And then the next slide, please. Yes, the next slide is again about the Hopin platform. I'm not going to explain it to you all again. What I am going to remind you about is the networking option on the left side of your screen. So once we're fully wrapped up, you can go to the networking area and see if you can connect with some people and share some thoughts with other people attending today. And that's it from me. So I would like to say a big thank you all for joining today. Lots of thanks to all the speakers for today. Was really insightful pitches, insightful presentations. Thanks to Don for the market insights, and thank you to my team at Holland FinTech, to our team, I should say, for creating this event and providing this opportunity. In the meantime, I got myself a little beer. It's Friday afternoon. I got myself a nice IPA, which I'm going to enjoy now, and I'll do some networking. So if you'd like to talk to me, we can meet each other there. And I would say bye for now. And of course, have a great Christmas period, holiday period, Christmas and New Year's. Hope you make the best of it, and we'll see each other at the meetup in January. So thank you all. Bye, Robin. Thanks. Bye, everybody. And see you all in the networking area. Bye-bye.